Wear a mask in public. Stay at least 6 feet apart from others. And get tested. Join us and fight the spread. Visit scdheck.gov/COVID-19.
Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Trey Taylor.
Recorded. The campaign encouraged people to host watch parties. Senator Elizabeth Warren
There's some feedback.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. We can hear the TV really loud. What you watching today? What you watching this morning?
That's Jennifer over there trying to keep up with the news.
Well, it is Monday. It's Monday with a J. Anthony Brown. Jay is on his way. As Myra said, she was shocked that he was late
oh my
today.
goodness. You mean to tell me J. Anthony Brown is ever late?
Well, Myra J is with us, and we're so glad to have her. We're going to check back in with her in just a minute. And as you can see, our congressman here in South Carolina, Congressman Jim Clyburn, joins us also. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you both so much for joining us. We're going to be right back to talk to Jim Clyburn after your COVID community updates. For the first time in over 2 months, the COVID cases in South Carolina are down. Yesterday, EHEC reported 537 new confirmed cases, down from the same time last week when there were over 1,000. Overall, the numbers have been trending down since the last 3 weeks, but officials say it's watching closely since college students have returned back this weekend. Because of that, the City of Columbia is considering issuing another curfew. Mayor Steve Benjamin says council will discuss the proposal at their meeting tomorrow in an effort to keep the virus at bay. And if you're one of the millions of people who thought your stimulus check amount was wrong, you may be in luck. The IRS says they'll start correcting errors and begin issuing the $500 per qualifying child to low-income and disabled tax filers. You should receive a notice in the mail. Hold on to it and check the status of your additional payment on the Get My Payment tool on the IRS website. We'll actually talk to Kadena Javis from Javis Tax Service in a few days about that. SCDHEC and Prisma Health have your most up-to-date listings of times, dates, and locations for COVID testing in and around South Carolina. Check the bottom of the screen for information about COVID testing from 8 until 11 tomorrow in Aner at the Waccamaw Tribal Ground. Also, Fort Mill YMCA from 8 until noon in Columbia at 2204 Lee Street and Galligan Park in Somerville. Also in Simpsonville tomorrow from 8 until noon at Brookwood Church and the Monticello Golf Course in McCormick. From 8 until 1 in Dorchester at King's One Stop and in Orangeburg at North Community Center, and in Florence from 8 until 2 at Cedar Towers in Florence. From 9 until 1, Health Resource in Camden and in Greenwood at the Jeff May Complex. Also, mobile testing is happening in Prosperity, South Carolina at the Civic Center from 10 until 3 and from 4 until 6 at the North Charleston Performing Arts Center. Again, that information is going to be scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the show. Plus, check out information on if you want to host a COVID screening in your event or in your neighborhood. That information is scrolling along with the DHEC care line. If you want more information about COVID screening or you need transportation to get a COVID screening, check out the DHEC Care Line. Kershaw County School District is hiring for bus drivers. That information is scrolling. And don't forget, in Columbia, South Carolina, they're doing free meal giveaways through August 28th from 12:30 until 1:30 at several parks and recreation centers in and around Columbia, South Carolina. Again, all of those locations are also scrolling at the bottom of the screen. I'm Trey Taylor. You're watching Coping with COVID. As you know, it's brought to you by SCDHEC, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, also Agape Counseling and Training Centers. If you're having some challenges coping with COVID, please contact Agape Counseling and Training Centers, also Columbia Housing Authority and Palmetto Media Connections. Please head over to my professional page, Taylor Made Productions. That's the home of Coping with COVID. Please like and share that. So not only you can watch Coping with COVID Monday through Saturday at 2 p.m., you can get all of your COVID-related updates. Congressman James Clyburn needs no introduction. The civil rights icon has been a public servant for decades, starting in Congress in 1993 and quickly rising in the ranks as chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, chair of the House Democratic Caucus, assistant Democratic leader, and now his second time as majority whip, the number 3 ranking Dem in the House of Representatives. The national leader has championed numerous rural and economic development initiatives, including many that have become laws. Currently, he's chair of, get this, the House Select Committee on the Coronavirus, the Rural Broadband Task Force. We're going to talk to him about that, and the Democratic Faith Working Group. And Congressman Clyburn has said to be the sole reason that Joe Biden's presidential candidacy turned around when he endorsed the former VP as president. Congressman Clyburn, thank you so much for joining us today on Coping with COVID.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Yes, sir. Listen, the first and last time that I interviewed you was, it was maybe about 15 years ago when I was at WIS for awareness. So, listen, I don't know if I did something right or wrong because it's been 15 years since I interviewed.
Nothing right, just nothing convenient. No,
I understand.
You always do right by me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, listen, the first thing I want to talk about is the VP pick. Okay, Joe Biden chose Kamala Harris for the VP pick last week. Do you think she's good for that position, or would she be better in the Supreme Court position?
I think she's great for this position. She is a politician extraordinaire. No question about that. She has run statewide in California, I think 3 times. She's been district attorney before that. She is just made for this particular role at this particular time. I think she's going to prove to be just what Joe Biden needed on this ticket.
Right. Want to say hi to everyone joining us. Tony Gilliard says hello. Johanna Bridgette says she is looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the Democratic ticket. Deborah Breedlove has joined us. You know Deborah.
Yes, I do.
I want to thank also Marvell Williams Mendenhall. She says, thank you for your service, Congressman Clyburn. Diane Jen Cunningham says, we appreciate you, Congressman Clyburn. So we've got a Congressman Clyburn fan club watching today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much for watching. All right. So also, what about her initiatives? All of them, because of course she was also a presidential candidate, did very well. One of the candidates that was here in South Carolina the most. Will she be able to bring some of her initiatives into this Biden candidacy?
Oh, I think so. The fact of the matter is she acquitted herself very well during the campaign. The problem she had, as I traveled throughout South Carolina, I talked to people, and they were saying to me time and time again that they loved Joe, they knew him, they wanted to see him as the nominee, and they would quickly say, and he should have Kamala Harris as his running mate. I was hearing that very early in the campaign, long before she got out of the race.
Right.
And so when he started vetting people, I told him that I thought that Kamala Harris would be a good pick, but I also told him that there were 10 or 11 other people that would be good as well. Mm. And so I would never tell him one over the other. I just gave him what I thought were the pluses and the minuses with all of them. And then I said to him, do some thorough vetting, do some thorough polling, and when all that's done, you sit down and let your head and your heart look at your final choices. And that's as far as I would go with him. I never recommended one over the other, though I think he picked the person that's right for the time.
Right. We're talking to Congressman Jim Clyburn, of course. George Wallace is in the queue, Congressman Clyburn. I'm going to bring him up because I know he wants to say hi to you. The comedian George Wallace.
Are you kidding me?
No, look, there it's right there.
My man. George, how you doing?
I am so thrilled to be on with you. I'm doing social distancing. I don't trust myself. That's why I got the mask on. Okay.
I love that guy. We go way, way back. He won't tell you how long and how far we go back. I love George.
We hung out together in Washington, D.C. I want to thank you so much for your services. It's just an honor. I'm floored and speechless. I don't have any words to say.
Well, that's unbelievable, George.
This is a big surprise. Thank you, man.
It's an honor.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for helping us out in South Carolina. And we hope anything we can do for you, you just give us a call. That includes me.
Okay, buddy.
That includes me and Jansen Brown. We'll do anything for you. Just let us know, okay?
I'll look forward to it.
Yeah. All right, George, thank you so much. You want to stay in the... Oh, he's gone. Yeah, he was on last week with Jamie, he and Jay, and they offered their services to do something. So we're working with Jamie's campaign to see what they can do to help him.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Jimmy's doing good. Doing real good.
Yes, he sure is. We're talking to Congressman Clyburn. Of course, more people have said good afternoon. She says she always appreciates your viewpoint. Regina Skeeter says thank you so much. She says what a great combination. So, Congressman Clyburn, let me ask you about this new HEAL Act. You know, as you know, people are concerned. People are still not back at work, and of course, you know, the new stimulus money is kind of tied up in Washington. What is going to happen, and what can you kind of walk us through that?
Well, as you know, there are three facets of this process. There's the House of Representatives, there's the Senate, and then there's the White House. Mm-hmm. Now, Democrats control the House of Representatives. That's 1/3. Republicans control the Senate. That's the 2/3. And the 3rd is the White House. Mm-hmm. And then Mitch McConnell has told us that he is not going to let anything come out of the Senate unless the president wants it. Now, that ought to tell us everything that we need to know. Mm-hmm. We passed what we call the HEROES Act, $3.2 trillion, taking care of state and local governments, extending the $600 over on top of your unemployment insurance.
Yes.
We did everything in that act that we think needs to be done and that we have been told need to be done. And they got to the Senate. Mitch McConnell laughed at it and told the world, I'm not going to let anything out of the Senate unless the president wants it. Right. So that's where we are. Now, the president has started making noise about the post office.
Yes.
And I was saying it, and I think that everybody ought to hang this tag on it. He wants to defund the postal services. That's what this man wants to do, defund the postal services.
Right.
Now, I used to say all the time, when I first got involved in politics, I used to tell people, because, you know, you have all those challenges out there. My Republican friends would be running. We got to treat government like a business. Right. And I would tell people, don't you fall for that. And I had a lot of people who come up to me telling me why we need to run government like a business. A business exists to make a profit.
Right.
That's why businesses exist. Government exists to provide service. Government should not be making a profit.
Right.
That's why I'm so upset with what they've done with student loans. Government ought to be out here trying to help students provide the service so they can get educated. Instead, we've turned student loans into a big profit-making machine.
Right.
And that's why we got so much student loan debt now. If we mess around and get rid of the post office like this man wants to do and turn it into a profit motive, the service will be gone. And let me tell you what happens. What we call the last mile.
Yes.
You go down to rural South Carolina where we got a postal service truck going down that dirt road to deliver medicines to that rural person, you get it and make it a business, and it's no longer profitable to go down that dirt road, nobody's going to get their medicine. So people better start thinking about what this guy is saying. He wants to make the Postal Service profit-making. And if you ever get rid of the service out of the United States Postal Service, then you have created a big problem for yourselves.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with COVID. Everything is a profit for this man. We ought to be doing testing, doing contact tracing, isolating, treatment, and be careful about the profit side of it. We want to get our kids back to school.
Yes.
But that's a service safely.
Mm-hmm.
And if you sending kids back to school, you've done nothing to check these HVAC units to see whether or not they are running properly. If they aren't running properly, one person contract the virus and you'll see it circulating throughout the school building. That's the kind of stuff we need to do. This guy's not doing anything.
Right.
Go back to school or we will defund you. So what are we doing? We are not providing service. And that's what government is all about. And so what we've got to do this year is do what is necessary to put service back into government.
Yeah. And would you say, Congressman Clyburn, and I was going to ask you, that's one of the many reasons why we've got to get out and vote, whether we agree or like or are on board with who Joe picked or not?
Thank you for saying that. I just got off the program earlier today with some people on National Call, and that came up. And I said to them, we need to put all our differences aside.
Right.
Look, pick them up on November 4th. What we've got to do now, I'm an Omega. But as of now, I'm an AKA.
I know that's right.
I'm a bulldog from South Carolina State.
That's right.
But as of now, I'm a bison from Howard University. I am everything that Kamala Harris is.
Yes.
Until November 4th.
Yeah.
And I'll take this other policy stuff back up afterwards. So this is about the Divine Nine. Every Omega, every Kappa, every Alpha, every Sigma. We should all be AKAs.
Yeah.
Deltas. I don't care what you are today. Be that come the 4th of November.
Right.
Right now, we are whatever Kamala Harris is.
Yeah.
So let's not go through all this stuff about who I like or who I dislike. I don't like Joe. I've seen stuff on social media about the derailing, condemning what I had to say about Joe. I know Joe.
Right.
And I like Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going to be for anybody that the Democrats nominate. Everybody in the field was better than what we've got.
Yeah.
So he is the candidate. Compare him to the alternative, not the almighty.
Right, right.
No, he's not perfect. Nor are you perfect.
Right. None of us are. Yeah.
So let's get up beyond that stuff and pick that up back on November the 4th and hate all you want after that. But let's fall in love for the next several weeks.
Absolutely. Laverta Kears James says, we welcome you, Congressman Clyburn, to the world of pink and green.
My goodness. Where's my purple? Go, there it is.
We're talking to Congressman Jim Clyburn today on Coping with COVID. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to say hi to Myra J. Jaron. She wants to know, Congressman Clyburn, your thoughts on early voting, absentee or in person. Thank you, Myra, for your question.
Well, thanks for asking that question. I just got my face wrapped.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice little purple and gold.
Thank you. Look, I have been telling everybody, I think we ought to declare October as election month. Starting October 5th, that Monday, here in South Carolina, we allow absentee voting starting a month before the election, which will be October 3rd, which is a Saturday.
Right.
But that following Monday, October 5th, we ought to start then getting people to vote. Absentee voting, even the president says he's against mail-in voting, but he's all for absentee voting. That's all we have in South Carolina.
Right.
We got 16 reasons that you can use to vote absentee starting 30 days out. Every South Carolinian, in my opinion, can fall into one or two of those categories. As for me, I always vote on the first day that absentee voting starts. I usually go vote because I have to work on election day.
Right, yeah.
It didn't say what job you're working on. If you have to work on election day, declare you got to work if you aren't doing anything but helping other people get to the polls.
Right. Exactly.
And vote early. And vote everybody in your neighborhood. Start knocking on doors.
Right.
I've said to the Divine Nine, every sorority, every fraternity, every chapter ought to be adopting a precinct. I live in the Greenview neighborhood of Columbia.
Yeah.
And we vote at Greenview Elementary School. Now, I do vote in Santee, South Carolina, where I am now, but I live there. And I've asked all the churches in Greenview to divide up the voting list for Greenview. Let's vote everybody in the Greenview neighborhood. Wherever your church is located, get that list. Take up a special election on Sunday to buy the list of registered voters in that precinct. And let's divide that list up. And let's say to our church members, let's say to our sorority sisters, our fraternity brothers, our Masonic orders, and let's start now to divide that list up. And on October 5th, start doing what you can to get people to vote absentee.
Yeah.
Now, if the lines are forming, let's get some beach chairs.
Yeah.
Let's get the water. Let's go in the line. If people can't stand long, let's have some seats there for them. Let's run them crazy.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. By any means necessary, we definitely
absolutely
vote. And Congressman Clyburn, we've got less than 10 minutes with you, but I would love for you to come back at a later date to kind of talk more about the strategy that we need to do, not only in South Carolina, but everywhere. But I want to ask you a couple of questions about broadband. You're chair of the Broadband Task Force. And as you know, that's a big issue here in South Carolina. I mean, you could be in a rural area right here in downtown Columbia and not have internet access. And as you know, that's increasingly concerning now because our children are learning virtually. What is happening as far as getting statewide broadband access?
Well, let me start with this. If you look at the platform that's going to be adopted this week by the Democrats, you're going to see a platform that says we want to put community health centers within commuting distance of every citizen in the country. We want to put broadband access in every home. We want to make sure that everybody can have telehealth. You cannot have the effective delivery of healthcare unless you got telehealth.
Right.
You can't have effective delivery of education without online learning, none of which can take place without broadband. The HEROES Act that we just passed, the money's in there for broadband, sitting over in the Senate. We passed a separate bill for broadband that has in it $86 billion to put broadband in every home. And it's sitting over in the Senate. That's why we need Jamie Harrison over in the Senate.
Right.
They help us pass that stuff in the Senate that the senators won't take up. When you have a senator saying, over my dead body, will there be any help for unemployed people?
Right.
You know it's time for you to get somebody else to replace them. Yeah. So this is what we're up against here. Broadband is the key. Now, since we got a minute, let me give you, share with you a little testimony I'd like to share with people.
Yes.
Because I think all of us agree. You mentioned rural South Carolina.
Yes.
Rural America. The key to bringing rural America into the 20th century was rural electrification. When we got rural electricity in rural communities, rural areas came into the 20th century. To get rural areas in the 21st century, we need broadband. There's a little testimony given by a guy in a rural church in Tennessee back in 1940. He got up in church one night and he said, brothers and sisters, I want to tell you this. The greatest thing on earth is to have the love of God in your heart. And the next greatest thing is to have electricity in your house. Now, he was right for the 20th century. I think that the next greatest thing for the 21st century is to have broadband in every home.
Yeah.
That's how to get health care. That's how to get education. That's how to get us into the mainstream of the economy of this great country. So I am all for broadband. I have worked this issue for 10 years. It has now passed the House. If the Senate took this bill up, within 10 years, broadband will be in every home in America.
Right.
And that, I promise you, for as long as I'm in the Congress, that will always be on the front burner of Democratic politics.
Well, since you mentioned as long as you're in the Congress, we talked to Bakari Saturday, and he's looking at your seat, as I'm sure you know. So does that mean, and I asked him this, are you retiring or are you going to have a position in the Biden-Harris White House?
No, I don't plan to retire, and I'm not going to anybody's White House. But I'll tell you, Bakari is one of about 22 people who are looking at my seat. And among them happen to be one of my daughters.
Right, the one standing behind. All right, so you're not going nowhere, so they can sit down someplace else, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so listen, let's talk about the girls. Let's talk about the girls and Walter. How, Ming was really the one that was kind of following in your footsteps. She was working at the FCC, and now recently Jennifer, who's an amazing educator, has taken an interest in politics after managing her Online Sisters campaign. Last week, Angela announced she's running for school board. And then, of course, as I said, your grandson was working on Pete's campaign. So what do you think?
Well, my grandson just left here, going back to Columbia to put together my office stuff for starting tomorrow. Jennifer, as you mentioned, is managing my campaign. She had such good luck and got the experience running the campaign for her sorority sister last year. And she's doing an amazing job on my campaign this year. I hope it will, either she will get the bug or she will smash it up and do something else. But she's going to learn what this business is all about. And I appreciate her a great deal. And if you remember my grandson, he was for Mayor Pete.
Yeah, Pete, yeah.
And he worked very hard in that campaign. I said to him, sort of jokingly, a couple of months before the election, I said, how are you enjoying it? He said, I love what I'm doing, Granddaddy. I said, well, now, I want you to remember something. When you were growing up, I never spanked you. But I'm going to spank you in this election. So I didn't let him forget that.
And you did. And you did.
But I love that guy, and he's doing great work. He aspires. He loves politics.
Yeah.
And he's studying it, doing it the way he should do it, starting at the bottom up. And Angela has been chomping at the bit to run for the school board for a long time. She's got 2 children in the school district.
Right.
And she told me that she wanted to run, and I would not discourage her at all. I'm sorry I can't vote for her because I voted in Osbury County, but I'm going to give her all the help I can give her.
Right. All right. Congressman Jim Clyburn, thank you so much for joining us today on Cooking with COVID. George is back. He wanted to say bye.
I love that guy. I'm glad you got him on there.
I got one question for this Congressman.
Yeah, buddy.
Trump just said to his brother that he'll see him on the other side. Does that mean they're both going to hell?
George, I'm trying to live right. I don't want him to see me because I know where he's going.
Thank you so much.
Love you, man.
Thank
Good
you,
to see you.
Congressman Clyburn. Thank you so much for joining us on Coping with COVID. Good luck to you. God bless. And please don't be a stranger. Please come back to Coping.
All right, I look forward to it.
All right. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you so much. I'm Trey Taylor and on Coping with COVID. Coming up, we are going to talk to George Wallace. We're going to talk to Myra J.
I understand I don't sound well, so I'm just going to listen in, okay?
Okay. All right.
Is my sound okay now? Is it still
It's okay. It's still a little scratchy, but it's okay. But we're going to do a quick commercial break, and we'll come back to George. We'll check your audio and come back with Myra J. Thank you so much for joining us on Coping with COVID. We'll be right back.
The rich 80-year history of Allen Benedict Court in many ways parallels the history of the entire Midlands area. Allen Benedict Court has special meaning to so many Columbia citizens who grew up there, worked in area jobs, and attended area schools. In coming weeks, as we prepare for demolition, Columbia Housing will actively seek out people who lived at Allen Benedict Court to tell their stories and share their memories. We appreciate those of you who we've already heard from, and we look forward to hearing from others. If you know of people you think our communications team should reach out to, let us know. Meanwhile, we will look for you to help us tell the story.
Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Trey Taylor.
Hey there, I'm Trey Taylor with Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. Hey, don't forget to head over to my professional page, Taylor Made Productions. Please like and share that so you can watch Coping with COVID Monday through Saturday at 2 p.m. and also get all of your COVID-related updates. It's Monday Fun Day with J. Anthony Brown. Jay's not here yet.
Where's Jay? It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? It's like, where's Jay? We never know where Jay is.
Actress, comedian, and writer Myra J. joins us. She's been making us laugh for over 3 decades in movies like Indecent Proposal, House Party, Hollywood Shuffle, writing for TV shows like Martin, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, Meet the Browns. She's the co-creator of the soap opera radio show It's Your World and was a cast member for years on the Tom Jordan Morning Show. She's been honored by the NAACP as a writer and given a Lifetime Achievement Award for community service by President Barack Obama. She's been a spokesperson for single women and single mothers. And today she joins us on Coping with COVID. Myra, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Trey. And thank you for reading my question to Congressman Clyburn about vote in person, absentee, mail-in, whatever. Because look, by any means necessary.
That's
by
right.
Any means necessary. I'm getting there for sure.
Yeah. George Wallace joins us. George, thank you for coming back on, standing in for Jay.
Of course, thank you so much. And like I said, I was told by my friend Myra J that you can't hit me. Am I okay right now?
It's okay. I hear some scratching. I don't know if that's your I don't know if that's your ear.
I'm driving in a Volkswagen. I'm gonna go buy me a Mercedes.
Okay. Okay, George. Okay, George. We'll be right here waiting for you. Myra J. Laverta Cares James says, she says she loves you. You look wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Deborah Breedlove says, hello, Myra. We miss you. So, Myra, tell us, what have you been up to? Acting, writing, performing? What you doing?
Well, look, I'm trying to survive like everybody else. I'm locked down in my house. Okay, I'm like, COVID ain't coming up in here.
I know that's right, girl.
I live alone, and it's I really think for people who live by themselves, we're kind of going through a different experience.
Yeah.
You know, Sybil does a thing also, and one of the first things that I wrote for her was that Gerald Levert gave me a teddy bear years ago, and I happened to be down in the basement about 30 days into our quarantine, and I saw that teddy bear. I done brought that teddy bear upstairs. I talked to the teddy bear. He got glasses on. I give him a little shot of Patron every now and then. He can't handle it, okay? Teddy bear done fell over on the floor and everything, but we live in a whole different lifestyle. Check on your single friends. We in the house going absolutely crazy, okay?
I know that's right, girl. Absolutely. Absolutely. We talked a little bit about it. It's Your World in the bio. And I see It's Your World has a Facebook page. It has a website. Are you still doing some work with it? You guys thinking about restarting it?
There has been some buzz. We're trying to think about perhaps relaunching it on the web in little short episodes and stuff. So we have to see. We were already thinking about this, and then COVID happened, and so how you shoot anything is totally different. Totally different today.
How did that start? How did you guys come up with doing that? Because that was so groundbreaking on TCMS. It really was. And people, just like any soap opera, we were hooked in to hear about it every week.
Well, to quote my absent friend, Anthony Brown, see what had happened was when Tom decided to do the syndicated show, I was already his writer when he was the Fly Jock.
Okay.
And he brought in a group of people to brainstorm, and he was saying, I want the show to be informative yet entertaining, blah, blah, blah. And so Brad Sanders, who does Clance with the update, so he loves soaps. Yeah. Yes. And he approached me. He said, Myra, we ought to do a soap opera. So like, okay. So then we got with Miss Dupree and another lady, Mary Boyce, and we just said, let's just go for it, and came up with It's Your World. And we had no idea that it would take off the way it did.
And it did. Jamal Bates joins us. He says he loved It's Your World, but he was just one of many people who really loved it. And you mentioned Mary, because Mary also was a writer with Tom, right?
Yeah. She was his once he went syndicated, she became the writer when I went on the air. She became his writer. Yeah.
So did you want to go on the air? Was that just a natural transition for you?
You know what? That was Tom's idea.
Was it?
Yes. He actually said to me when they looked at his demo, he said, a big portion of my show are single moms. And for me, it was a bit, but I was really living it. I was the only staff person there who was a single mom. Right. And so he said, Myra, just come on and speak to the single moms. And I had no idea how many women were actually going through the same experiences. And yes, brothers, I know you out there. I cannot tell you the feedback, the hate mail I would get from the brothers. What about the single dads? We out here too. I understand you, boo, and I love you, but find your own spokesperson. I'm out here for the single moms. Come on now.
You can't represent single men.
Right? Okay. I love you. I know it's a struggle. I appreciate you, but I was hired. My check said to talk about the single moms. Okay.
I I know that's right. And until your assignment is different, you go.
Okay. The minute you send me a check, I'm gonna be loving on you single dads too. See if I won't.
Tell me what your favorite TJMS memory is. Do you have one or two favorites?
Oh my gosh. I wish George and Jay and some but when we went to South Africa, we had so many special memories from we actually went twice. But I do remember one of the first trip we were brought over by the Bureau of South African Tourism. And they wanted us to do a live broadcast to encourage African Americans to come and visit South Africa. Okay. And here we are on the tour bus, and we were going by, I mean, literally shanties, people in huts who had heard that these Black Americans were coming to South Africa. Wow. And they were standing on the side of the road, blowing kisses. Oh my God. Saying, welcome home, brother. Welcome home, my sister. When I tell you I was crying, Tom was like, if you don't stop that crying, I couldn't get it together. But
right, but that was so heartwarming. I'm
sure. Oh my gosh, yes. It was absolutely life-changing. But we were supposed to meet with Nelson Mandela. He had an emergency, so they sent Bishop Desmond Tutu. So we got to interview and meet with Desmond Tutu, and we were so honored. And at the end of the interview, we told him, we said, you know, there's a song in the United States, we'd like to sing it to you. And he was like, oh yeah, go ahead. And we all started going, don't mess with my tutu. I got back home, my mama was like, I cannot believe you were singing Don't Mess With My Tutu.
That's funny. Did he like it? Did he like it?
Oh, he loved it. He absolutely loved it. He absolutely loved it.
We're talking to actress, comedian, and writer Myra J on a Fun Day Monday with J. Anthony Brown. Jay's not here, but we're holding it down either way. So tell me your funniest story. I'm just going to throw out some of your former cast members. Jay, What's your funniest story about Jay?
Okay. Speaking of South Africa, on this one particular trip, we were going, this particular trip, I believe this one was in conjunction with President Clinton, because it was the first time a U.S. president had gone over. And so Tom and I think Tavis, they were in the fleet of planes following President Clinton. We were supposed to be meeting Tom in South Africa. Well, you know, you can't just let Black people loose like that. So our producer said, I didn't tell Jay because Jay can't hold nothing, but we're not going straight there. We're going to stop in Botswana and do a safari. So we're like,
my goodness.
Oh, yeah. So we're like, yeah. So we get to Botswana, and then it's like, we see all these little, you know, tourist places, go to the jungle, see a safari. We said, we Black people in South Africa. We gonna get the hookup. Like we know somebody. Yeah.
In Africa.
Yeah. Yes. So we stopping brothers on the street. Yeah. We want the hookup. We're like, don't worry, sisters. We got you. Be here tomorrow. We come tomorrow. He tells us where to go. The ride takes us out into the jungle. We're sitting there waiting. When I tell you all these white people was pulling off in air-conditioned vans, going into the jungle, bro man come in with a pickup truck with some wooden seats nailed, nothing covering the top. It's blazing hot. We go off into the jungle, and it's literally 3 slats. I'm sitting behind the driver. Sybil and Yogi, I think, were sitting behind me. Jay is sitting on the back. So we go off. Jay is talking trash.
I know he is.
He is lying. Where the lions at? We paid for lions. We want to see lions. We go off deep into the bush, and all of a sudden, the brush, the leaves start falling off, and the driver stopped, and an elephant appeared right in front of the Jeep. And when I tell you Jay screamed like a white woman, Jay did a Mariah Carey pitch scream. start cussing out the driver, talking about, turn this Jeep on, back it up. And the driver was so calm, he was like, take the picture. Is this not why you come to Africa?
Right.
Take the picture of the elephant.
Look, y'all wanted a real safari experience, and you got one.
We got a real safari experience. Jay cussed that man out and said, get me out of here. I want to see some concrete and linoleum right now.
Oh my God.
It doesn't end there. So we go back, blah, 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 blah. And then that night, they took us off in the jungle. It's this beautiful restaurant. We go in there, we're the only Americans, the only Black people, and some of the dancers had just finished. The people are seating us. Jay goes on the stage and starts singing, in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps. We start going a wing away, a wing away. The entire restaurant, they don't even speak English, but they're looking for our cue, like a wing away. The dancers are peeking out from the side of the stage, like, what is happening to our show?
That's crazy.
That was so much fun. And the next day or whenever we got there, mind you, we should have been at our hotel already in Cape Town. We're rushing because we know now that Tom should have arrived. When we get out of the cab and we're running into the lobby, all we can hear is Tom yelling, what do you mean they haven't checked in yet? We should have been there 3 days ago.
Oh, Lord, girl.
We all up in the jungle in Botswana.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Michelle T.T. Jacobs says, hilarious story. Thank you, everyone, for watching Coping with COVID. We're here on Fun Day Monday with J. Anthony Brown, without J. Anthony Brown.
Right. But kind of. We have J stories, yes.
That's right. We have J stories. Myra J is with us. Okay, so what about a funny story about Tom?
Oh my gosh, Tom. Let's see. Wait. Is he still paying me? Okay, no.
I know that's right. Okay. We had done a sky show somewhere, and after the sky, and first of all, just let me say to everyone who listened and all of our viewers, we appreciated you guys, the radio stations, the affiliates. I mean, everybody showed so much love. Well, after one of the sky shows were those were such groundbreaking events, and as you know, people be wrapped around the corner trying to get in at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
They would be sleeping overnight, and I used to say to myself, they do know that they can hear this on the radio, right? But
it was not like being in that auditorium with the sky show.
Yes. It was all the way live. And so after one of the shows, someone had invited us, some group, and they were honoring Tom and blah, blah, blah. Well, Tom, he's sitting there taking all the accolades, and then they go, and Tom, here's a big surprise for you. And this guy comes out with a tray of pork ribs.
Oh.
Tom's a vegetarian.
Right.
And he had this look on his face, and we're all sitting there looking like, okay, how's he going to do this? And then he goes, well, I'm on this strict diet. Myra, and I don't eat pork. So he's calling me. I'm calling somebody else. And one by one, we keep calling another cast member. Like,
come get these ribs.
Right, somebody got to come get this ribs. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Was that some of the best times you've had in your life?
Some of the best professional times. I actually worked with Tom for, we always laugh because we're never quite sure, but it was something like 27, 28 years. But because I was his writer when he was the fly jock. So before he even started,
the vacation.
Prior to the Tom Joyner Morning Show, when I was a television writer, I was writing for Tom after I would get off the set, and I would be up in the middle of the night reading the newspaper and faxing him jokes for the show. Yeah, that's how long ago it was. I was faxing him jokes. Yes.
Wow,
yes.
wow.
Yeah.
So are you working on anything now? Any other TV shows, movies, anything?
To be honest, I am working on a project that I'm really excited about. However, I'm
Can't
not
talk about it.
I can't talk about it. I can't
All
talk
right.
about it. But if it goes, I really think that people will appreciate it.
That's good. When will you know something?
You know what? Right before we came on live, they were like, "Can you have a meeting?" I'm like, "I'm doing a radio show right now." So
that's right. Make them want you, girl. Make them, don't be too accessible. Isn't that what they tell us about guys? Don't be too accessible.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So you know how this business is. When it's an idea, it's baby steps, and this person has to talk to this person who has to talk to this person. So we'll see, but we think it's a very timely project, and we hope that it goes through.
Well, I hope that you'll come back and let us know about it, because that would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
So how can people keep up with you? Are you still doing some stand-up?
Look, but the last stand-up gig that I did, it was the first week of March, and I was at the Black Skiers Convention in Sun Valley, Idaho. I was really honored for them to have me.
Yeah.
And just so this was around March 4th, March 5th.
Right before COVID hit.
Here's the story. About 10 days later, so got a couple of phone calls. How you feeling? Blah, 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 blah. I'm cool. Long story short, they had about 700 members. I heard about 100 of them got sick. Four of them died.
Are you serious?
Yes, this was in the month of March before And if you heard DJ Jazzy Jeff, he said he had it, and he said he thought he got it at the Black Skiers Convention because he came there to DJ. I left the day before he got there, so I never. Thank God, I never got sick or felt any symptoms. But that was my last stand-up gig, and I know a couple of people are back out in the club. It ain't that serious to me, y'all. I love jokes. I love y'all. I love making you laugh. But unless you know me personally, you can call me on the phone. I'll tell you a couple of jokes over the phone. But Myra ain't going in nobody's club.
I know that's right, girl. I still think it's way too dangerous. It's way too dangerous. Deborah Breedlove wants to know, Myra, who was your favorite performer on the Sky shows?
Oh my God. Well, you know what? I do know this. One of my favorite Sky shows, we did one in Miami, and we had Kim, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, wow.
And oh my God.
You could have stopped at Stevie, girl, but can't. Because you don't get to see Stevie a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the hair lady. It starts with the I. I can't even think.
India Ari?
Yes. And India Ari. Yes. We had all three of them. And when I tell you, I was like a little kid glued to the side of that stage, like
that's a great Sky show, girl. That's an awesome Sky show.
For free? Okay.
What? Jamal says, did you write on Martin? He said he finally figured out you were a frequent caller on his radio show.
That was one of the best kept secrets. Yes. My very first job, you guys, was first writing job was as a writer on the Martin Show. And this is how blessings rain down. I've always loved to write. I've never really taken a writing class. Martin and I were both comics. We had the same manager at that time. Martin got the TV show. They formed it. They're already starting pre-production. However, when they got together, they realized none of their writers knew anything about radio. Our manager mentioned, I have another client who writes for radio. And literally, I got a phone call that went like this. Hello, would you like to write for television? Yes. Come in tomorrow. That's how I started. I didn't know diddly squat. And I'm telling you guys, it was such a blessing. I didn't know anything about it, but I absolutely loved writing. So, and then Martin, bless his heart, not only did he have me call in because he just thought I had a funny voice and I could badger him, but for anyone who's ever gone to a live taping, there's such a person as the warm-up person. Who plays. I was the warm-up person for.
Were you?
Yes, yes. So I was right.
You're the person that came out before the show started to kind of warm up the audience, kind of joke and stuff like that. For those who don't know.
Yeah. So I was writing for the show. I was doing warm-up for the show. I was doing call-ins, like, okay, audience, hold that thought. I got to run down to the set for a minute. I'm on the phone. Say a couple of lines. Run back up to the audience. Yes. I was a hustler, baby.
Girl, I know that's what I was getting ready to say. I ain't mad at the hustle, girl. Please do all that. And what else you need me to do? How much it's paying?
Okay. I'll cook. I'll do craft services, whatever. But
exactly. Laverta Keir says, God is good. You never know who knows who. Absolutely. So.
Yeah. Even on Bebe's kids, some of my younger cousins realized that I was the evil one on Bebe's kids, the one who was. And when they came to, because they actually thought I was a cartoon, so, like that I lived in the television set. And when they actually met me, because it was like their favorite show to watch, they wouldn't even talk to me. They would just stand there and stare at me and touch me. Like, wow, like she popped out the TV.
Wow, that's funny. Want to say hi to Abdullah Mame. I don't know if he's talking to me or you. He says, hi, open teeth woman. How are you? I don't know.
Both of us.
Yes, we both had teeth.
Yes.
Both of us had teeth. There you go. How is your child? You had a daughter, right? You have a daughter, right?
I have a son and I have a bonus daughter. When I was on the show, I talk about my son all the time. My baby, 45 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But I was blessed with his when he had a child. The child's mama, I called him. That's my bonus daughter because she is a sweetheart and I love her dearly. I was really blessed, and she's fine.
That's good.
The grandbaby's fine. The grandbaby is married now. I done told her I'm getting rid of all them. I need a younger family now.
Yes, I know that's right.
Because all y'all old. You can't have grandkids talking about I'm tired. Oh, what did you do today to have you tired? Even I feel so sorry for the parents who trying to homeschool now.
Girl, it's a lot.
Trey, let me tell you, if I had kids at the house right now, they ain't gonna make it. I can tell you that right now. I'm like, I already been to school. I'm not trying to figure out whatever it is the teacher sent. This is what we're gonna learn today, children. We're gonna learn how to farm. I'd be planting. I'd go and buy them some seeds. We would be out back growing some greens and tomatoes.
Because you got to be teacher, you got to be cafeteria worker, you got to be referee, you got to be counselor, you everything, and then do you too. Right. It's a lot.
We're gonna learn about credit scores and stock markets. Tell the teacher what you learned today, okay?
Myra J., actress, comedian, writer, joined us today on Coping with COVID with Trey Taylor. Myra, you were such a delight. Thank you so much for joining us on Monday without J. Anthony Brown this week. So you are welcome to come anytime. You're sitting there in Chicago, social distancing. If you don't have anything to do at 2:00, log in and we'll talk.
Real quick. One, I'm in Atlanta, and you can yes. Follow me on Facebook at Myra J, Jarym. It's just Myra J backwards.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What is your social media? So it's Myra J.
Yeah, Myra J, last name Jarym, and then I'm let's see, Not a Mirage on Instagram, and gotta be Myra J on Twitter. Yeah, gotta be Myra J.
Gotta be Myra J on Twitter. Make sure that you like her page, follow her on Twitter and on Facebook, and we look forward to the project you've got coming up, and also the maybe the resurgence of It's Your World. That's so exciting.
Yes.
All right, you see how to reach her on the bottom of the screen. Myra J., thank you so much for joining us on Coping with COVID. Take care. God bless you.
At any time Jay is late, call me.
I'm gonna call you. I might call you next week because he'll probably be late.
Probably. Okay. All right. Take care. Stay safe. All right.
You do the same.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. You see how to get in touch with Myra J on the bottom of the screen. Please head over to my professional page and also like and follow Taylor Made Productions on Facebook, Trey Taylor on Instagram, and Trey Taylor on YouTube. So you can watch Coping with COVID Monday through Saturday at 2 p.m. and get all of your COVID related updates. Now, tomorrow on Coping with COVID, we're going to talk with the folks from Dominion Energy. They're going to tell you how to work at home and save some energy. They're also going to talk to you about their payment arrangements. That's tomorrow. We're also going to talk to Benita Clemens with the New Soul Survey. They've got a survey that she's partnering with USC to help us all eat better. That comes up tomorrow on Coping with COVID. Wednesday, it's DHEC and In It Together. We're going to talk with those folks about the unveiling of the In It Together website and so much more. That is coming up this week on Coping with COVID. Listen, if you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please go to the Taylor Made Productions page and email copingwithtreytaylor@gmail.com. Let's talk about how you too could be a proud sponsor of Coping with COVID, just like SCDHEC, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, Columbia Housing Authority, and Palmetto Media Connections. If you've got a story that could help someone cope with COVID, please inbox Taylor Made Productions also. As always, I leave you with a reading from Jesus Calling. Today is August the 17th, and Jesus says, "Find me in the midst of the storm." Sometimes events whirl around you so quickly that they become a blur. Whisper my name in recognition that I am still with you. Without skipping a beat in the activities that occupy you, you will find strength and peace through praying my name. Later, when the happenings have run their course, you can talk with me more fully. Accept each day just as it comes to you. Don't waste your time and energy wishing for a different set of circumstances. Instead, trust me enough to yield to my design and my purpose for your life. Remember that nothing can separate you from my loving presence. Jesus says, "You are mine." That's your Jesus Calling for today, August 17th. I'm Trey Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us on Coping with COVID. Until the next time, I wish you peace, abundant blessings, and wear your mask. Have a great day.